Cheers everyone, welcome back Grandma's Handbag. Thank you again so much for joining us this time. Cheers to you all, I hope you're doing well. How are you all? This helper goes out to you. Eden Road, Long Road Syrah from Hilltops, regional New South Wales. This is a higher altitude Syrah or Shiraz, so lighter both in percentage, 13%, and also just flavour. Really delicious stuff. Mr. Winebender, Eric, if you see any New South Wales Hilltops Shiraz Syrah, definitely worth a try. I know my man enjoys his wines. Anyway, thrift store finds today. Just things I've accumulated over the past few months. Really got to offload, so hopefully I won't spend too long digging into that. But first things first, here is some VCLT from the wonderful Blues Guy vinyl. Chris, thank you so much. Chris just sent through a batch of incredible CDs here, and I'm absolutely humbled. They've made their way all the way from Calgary in Alberta, Canada, down to Australia, and it's just what the blues doctor has prescribed and just what I needed. Incredible stuff. A beautiful note here that starts off with "G'day Dean," so I'm on board right away. Just wanted to send VCLT as a thank you for the support you've shown my channel. Chris, it's no problem at all. It's a wonderful channel you've got. And you know the drill, everyone. I'm going to leave a link down there. Do check him out. Chris's channel, just great stuff. Blues Guy, there's no false advertising in that title. He knows his stuff. He's done some great in-depth things. And in fact, there's a Howlin' Wolf coming up soon, which I cannot wait to see. He's even been reading books on it, so that'll be great. Anyway, I hope the CDs are okay and that they're not duplicates. Believe me, they're not, which is great. Spreading the Buddy Guy love this summer or your winter throughout the VC. So please enjoy the copy of Sweet Tea. So Sweet Tea, I really don't know a lot of Buddy Guy, but I put this on and whew, blown away. Just that 1-2 punch of Done Got Old, Baby Please Don't Leave Me. Incredible stuff. Is it too much to say this is one of the best blues albums, if not the best of the 21st century? 2001, incredible stuff. Really, really loving that. Thank you so much, Chris. I couldn't believe it. The absolute classic. These are all Chess MCA versions. There are a couple of them here, and then so they're all proper official original release stuff. Incredible stuff. Thank you so much for this. Again, I don't have this one. I've been looking at getting on vinyl, so if ever I do, I'll pass the love around again. But bonus tracks on here, not going to argue with that. Sun House, the original Delta Blues, again one that I've wanted to get for a long time. So this is original recordings from '65 after he was rediscovered. So in his early 60s. There's this sort of, this is the first thing I slapped on the player and loved it. You know, Death Letters on there, Levy Campmone, Preachin' Blues, and then you got a couple of almost field holler gospel type ones, John the Revelator and Grinning in Your Face. Just incredible, yeah, raw Delta Blues. A little bit sloppy, but you know what? That is kind of the whole point of this thing. It's about feel. Love it. And the last one I've never heard, and just keep seeing people showing it. So Chris must have been taking notes, sent that along. Cannot wait. Thank you again, Chris. Please, everyone, check out Blues Guy vinyl. Great stuff. All right, straight into the thrift store finds. These are all under $4, $2, $3, $4. Couple of good ones at the end. So they're still out there. If you guys do wonder, sure, I'm not getting the hauls that 8 Vinyl Low Emma's been doing. That's just phenomenal stuff, really. So keep going, Emma, you're on a roll, I tell you. But in my little neck of the woods, these were interesting enough, and they would generally command a $10 price or more at shops anyway. So that kind of brought in Bull Durham. You might look for $2. I found this just the other day. I grew up as a kid loving baseball down here in Australia. Not the most common sport. More people want to watch cricket. But yeah, I remember Bull Durham at the time. Soundtrack wise, it's just interesting because you got a couple of you got Los Lobos, George Thorogood, John Fogerty, and then a trio of tracks here at the end with Benny Wallace and Dr. John. And one of them's got with Stevie Ray Vaughan and the other one with Bonnie Raitt. So that's just something that me quite interesting. And plus it's 1988 Australian press vinyl. Just don't see those around that often at all. So this one here, I really don't know what to make of. Look, again, for $1, had to grab it. It's an original gold label mono, Warner Brothers. So I really love seeing that label, but I tell you what, musically, I don't know if it's going to stay with me, you know. Peter, Paul and Mary are already jaded. Album 1700, so they're naming it after the catalogue number, as you can see. They got songs like John Denver's Leaving on a Jet Plane, I Dig Rock and Roll. They're just not selling it for me, you know. Bob Dylan's Dream is on there, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, anyway, at least for the label I had to grab that. Maybe at least for the cover I had to grab this one. Good Night Tonight, Wings from 79. So this was right at the end of Wings' career, I'm assuming their last album. Daytime, Nighttime Suffering on the B-side. On the Orange Parlophone label. Give it a go for a couple of bucks, eh? Likewise, this trio, Dolly Parton, Linda Ronstadt, Emmylou Harris, mid-80s. You know what, 5 years ago I wouldn't have seen myself picking this up at all, just on the Warner label. But just like James Buttery was showing recently, country music, and he said, I'd never thought I'd be there, but look, 10 years down the track, James, this could be your future. For $4, John Prine. Now, I can't remember, I think this is his third album, 74, 73. Not in the best of nick, and the condition of the record really wasn't as well. So, actually this is the one, condition-wise, I struck out most on. However, musically, look, early John Prine, you just cannot go wrong with. So, very happy on that. Obviously now looking for an upgrade copy. With the John Prine connection, Steve Goodman, Jesse's Jig and Other Favourites. So he was on Prine's first album, and like a folk club friend or good mate of his. And this is on the Asylum Records label from 75. Textured sleeve, obviously seen a bit better days. Disc-wise, it's in quite lovely condition, to be honest. But when someone's graffitied on the back cover here with this Blue Umbrella, which is a John Prine song, understandably, and they've written Bloody Beautiful. When you get that sort of strong piece of Aussie vernacular, that sold it to me right away, you know. So alright, Little Feat, the last record album. This is still with Lowell George, I think. And it's a New Zealand press, actually. So I found this again for a couple of dollars. There's that Burbank Warner Brothers label with the palms on there. Decent condition for that, actually. But to be honest, I haven't spun it. I'm still stuck on earlier Little Feat, but knowing I'll get around to that, had to grab it. $3 here for this double disc World of Johnny Cash. This is Australian press as well. I think this is mid-70s or so. Anyway, it's on the orange CBS label here in Australia, as opposed to the Columbia. That was bound to happen, wasn't it? Here we go. I'll get that back in. I hope you don't mind the one-track jam of Neil Young with words here. I've just been on a bit of a Neil Young jag the last couple of days anyway, so... And this is one song I'm happy to hear just sort of noodle away. So where were we? Yeah. 20 all-time great recordings in one package. To be honest, they're not the usual Cash suspects in here. I'm just looking. Yeah, there's not even a Boy Named Sue or Ring of Fire or anything like that in there. But look, still very nice production qualities. Double disc, $3, great condition. Coming home with me. As was this one for $2. Amazing, actually. German press. I think it's 73 or so. Wilson Pickett's greatest hits on Atlantic. I love that. The man. And yeah, maybe Wilson's not as headline as your Otis's. But look, Atlantic label, 60s soul. You're not going to go too far wrong. Plus, if it's got Land of 1,000 Dances on here, which it does, well, I'm a happy man. That's all there is to say to it. But what do we got? 24 songs over the two sides on there. So, yeah. Very, very happy to find that for $2. $2. $4 here for the Devo. Jeez. New Traditionalists. So I haven't actually heard this one of theirs either, to be honest. But I'm interested to see. There's not a lot more I can say. There's no bonus disc or poster in here. You do get the Devo inner, as you can see there, but everything else missing, sadly. It's all about the music. Anyway, this one for $2, really couldn't resist, and it's actually got a fairly decent price on Discogs as well. It's an Australian one here, so Ultravox, a collection, and there's a bonus 12-inch, as you can see there, 6 12-inch mixes. So this is all mid-Euro Ultravox, so post John Fox, 81 through, or 1980 to 84, and yeah, mid-Euro era, so not the preferred era. Ultravox is always nice to have. It's probably not overdone for me yet on the Chrysalis label there, but it's a single package for the double LP. But what is great is the purple vinyl on the bonus disc on the 12-inch collection. So yeah, Ultravox double disc set. Now here's a really, really interesting one. And I'm going to leave it in the bag, but we have Smudge the Snail. Now Smudge the Snail is actually just a 7-inch. And judging by the look of it, judging by this here, it's a educational 7-inch. Look at the picture, listen to the record, read the story, play the game. So this is from the early 70s. And now I don't know exactly why I grabbed this just to look at initially, but once I did, I knew why. I suppose there's a library coding system on there. There's a dots game that you push out and push back in on the back here. But when I was looking at the credits, I don't know if you can see this here, you've got Ron Geeson, Geeson, at the bottom. So Ron Geeson, who worked, the Scottish composer who worked with Pink Floyd, Roger Waters and the Body soundtrack, turning up in the early 70s, trying to make a crust on a children's 7-inch. So there you go. All right, a couple more here. Not a lot that needs to be said about this, but for $2, that's got to come home with me. Quadraphonic, Australian quadraphonic. Quadraphonics, I think I've said before, outnumber stereo presses probably about 4-1 in Australia. It's just one of those interesting quirks where people cottoned on a bit later that this is a good stereo reference or quad reference record, and they grabbed it. So yeah, you get the triangle in there. There's no other extras. There's no posters. What else is there? Yeah, posters. I think there might be stickers. I've forgotten now. But look, for $2, decent condition, always going to come home with me. And the most recent one to round it up, I just found this on Sunday. And it was in amongst piles of absolute dreck. You know, your Al Martinos, all those sorts of jazz vocalists and, you know, Boston Pop's classical stuff just was sitting obscured by clouds. And the only reason why I can think it was sitting there is because there's nothing on there screaming Pink Floyd whatsoever. If you were to look on the side, on the rear, just at the bottom, music composed by Pink Floyd. I suppose you could look on the spine as well. But this was the only thing worth salvaging in there. And believe me as well, there were just very ordinary records for price for $8 and $10 a pop. And this one there was unpriced for $2 a pop. Beautiful condition. And yeah, people have probably heard me before. You all know this album. This is just Floyd, funky, loose, free, warming up for the big game in Dark Side, and just a lot of that really good feel of metal as well. So yeah, let me know what you think. Thrift store finds, op shop, charity, always still worth a look in for me. I just find occasionally it's still worth grabbing some things. Let me know what you guys think as well. Is there things worth grabbing in there? In the meantime though, take care everyone. Been enjoying your videos there, but if I haven't been around to see you for a while, give me a kick in the comments. Love to drop down and drop around to your channel as well if I haven't of late. And I'm still struggling through with that top 100. Hopefully having another episode out in a week or so. I'm getting there anyway. The tortured artist process. But in the meantime, thanks again everyone. Take care. Talk to you soon.